Their point guard, I don't know what he runs in a 40, but that man is quick.
I fuck with the Spiders, man, and just like
Yeah.
Richmond in general is a good place to hang out. I'm gonna pick them just off the
That
strength.
gave me really great pointers on how to get pissed up before a soccer game. So really.
Wait, what are the pointers?
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
Fitzmagic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
It was like FU up Fridays, and I guess he got me. I game of baseball, but it has different rules that go along with it that kind of go behind our underlying theme of getting fans involved, keeping fans.
If I catch it in my beer, does that still count?
10 seconds.
Hello. Welcome back. We've got a relatively busy boozer here tonight. We've got Park himself, we've got Fitz, and we've got Tim, and least but not least, we have South Carolina's finest, Alex Marinelli. Tonight we're talking about FA Cup roundup, we're talking about mock drafts, we're talking about the golf match. And before we get into all of that, we'll have a quick word with Alex Marinelli.
How's it going?
Perfect. Alex, man, thank you so much for hopping on. Dude, you have been crushing it on social media, TikTok. You snuck your way into the algorithm, man. And it did not disappoint whatsoever, man. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited. It's going to be a good time for sure.
Hey, hell yeah. Well, with a name like Marinelli, we were talking about this before we hopped on, man. How did you get down to South Carolina? Are you from that area? Tell us kind of the birth of Alex here.
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. That's where my roots are.
OH.
Ohio, yes, sir. You know about it. Ohio State, born and raised. That was my blood. I bled it every day. And then kindergarten, my dad got a job opportunity in Savannah, Georgia. So we packed our things and we moved down south. And I've been raised a Georgia boy. As much as I initially didn't like it, that's what I became. And so I got y'all coming out of me left and right. And I love sweet tea, and that's just become a part of me. And when I was looking at colleges, I tell the story all the time, but I swear to you, my mother made me go on at least 35 college visits. We toured every university on the East Coast, big, small, SEC, Big Ten, ACC. We were there and we were looking at it, and it was exhausting. But I had finally narrowed it down, and I had between Georgia and South Carolina, and the little University of Dayton up in Ohio, and had some opportunities here. And I don't know, I felt like I was called to come here and be a Gamecock. And so I found myself here, and I absolutely love it. It's a great place to be, a great place to be a student and to be a fan and to work, obviously. And it's become the biggest part of who I am. So I love it.
Dude, absolutely, man. What a great story. And, something I think a lot of people can relate to. And just, oh, man, like picking South Carolina, you picked a hotbed. Like we were talking before we went live, women's basketball just cut down the nets with the Natty. Awesome to experience it. The spring game last week or 2 weekends ago was phenomenal. The crowd was amazing there. You guys are crushing it right now. So I know campus is buzzing.
It absolutely is. It's we talk about like South Carolina as a university being on the rise, and just like the energy in Columbia right now is unbelievable. Like you said, from women's basketball, winning the Natty, and just like what Shane Beamer is doing for this football program in this city. You could just feel the buzz on campus, off campus, in the city, in the area. You just feel it every day. And so University of South Carolina being a Gamecock is on the rise, and it's the hot topic, and it's exciting to be like on this wave right now as it grows into who knows what it's going to be in the next year. So,
dude, absolutely, man. And, for people who don't know about South Carolina's culture, I mean, you guys are in the SEC, you're in the thick of it. And you guys have some fun, but you also buckle down and get it done when the job needs to get done. So what's like especially with you being a content creator and a video, if I can talk, videograph, golly, I cannot talk. Guy who takes videos, I'm just done. I'm throwing it out the window. How is your day-to-day life, man? I'm sure it's jam-packed.
It's definitely jam-packed. I'm a student intern for the athletic department, so I'm balancing school life with being an intern and being on staff. And so, my day looks like getting up, going to class all day, finding some time to get over to the office, work on some content. And then, it depends on, during the football season, we are going every single day. It's content, just constantly. That's our goal is to create content that is king. And so, all season long, we're just buckled down, and especially on a game day on Saturday, like we're there all day, and we're in during the day or in during the night. And it's the best part about it is just being in the atmosphere and around it. But, at the same time, it's, we're students. I'm a student. So like I got to balance my work life with my school life and also my social life too. So it's busy and it's a lot kind of all at once, but it's nothing that I hate. I love it every single day. And like, I wouldn't change it for the world. And so, yes, it's absolutely a lot, but it's totally worth it.
Hey, I love that answer. That's a phenomenal answer. So, a couple weekends ago, really a couple months ago, we had Max Renfro and the App State video guys on here. And they've been really pushed into social media, and they've kind of been forerunners. Had T. Henney busting out the water, and then some colleges that have copied that. But you guys kind of have your own style going on right now with your content. What makes you guys different from these other major programs?
Yeah, I mean, I think the direction that we're going in right now is Shane Beamer is everything that everybody wants in a head coach. You talk about like the foundations of our program is above all else, like it's love. And so when you talk about the culture that he's creating here, it makes it really easy to create content because when we think about it, it's like, whatever we're doing, it boils down to love and showing like that this program and this culture is something that guys want to buy into and be a part of. And so, now that's our focus. And at other times it wasn't. And so, now we are creating content that's based off of love and showing that these guys in the locker room are a family, and that we're creating like a culture that is unlike any other in the SEC or in the country. And so, when we're doing videos, when we're doing graphics, recruiting, everything like that, like that's our main focus is creating this culture that Shane Beamer is creating on his own. It's become just the biggest part of what this culture or what this program is becoming and what this city is rallying behind. So that's mainly our focus.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing. Coach Beamer just seems like one hell of a dude. And he, from the outside looking in, he seems like just a quality guy, a fun guy, electric guy who we can always get behind here. And then, like you said, he's centering everything around love, which me as a coach, I love to preach that. And so that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a great guy. I've had countless interactions with him. Every time it's just so genuine. Like he's everything you want in a boss. Because at the end of the day, he's my boss. He's one of my bosses. But I played sports my whole life, and I had a variety of different coaches. But when you look at what Coach Beamer's doing every day, like he's the guy that everybody wants their coach to be. And so it reflects not only the players but the staff, the coaching staff, and then it leaks into like our department and recruiting and nutrition, and before you know it, it's literally everywhere. And like I think about back when I was a freshman and times were a little different here in the program, and like there was a different vibe in the office and in the facilities, and now you walk in and like you can feel something special here, and it's all stemming from him and what he's done with our coaching staff and what we're doing on the creative side and on the recruiting side. And so it's all just kind of coming together to create this like unforgettable experience and culture here.
You hit the nail on the head there, and especially with recruiting, like you guys, typically I feel like past 5 years, this thing has skyrocketed here. Cause like when we were going through recruiting and all that stuff, it was like, hey, here's your letter. Good luck. Now it's like making graphics, making videos, and you've got to stroke a 16-year-old's ego here to get them to come, and you've got to be next level at it. Like big programs are not doing a really good job at this, but you guys are crushing it out of the park. So how much pressure is it, especially during like that national signing day? How much pressure is on you guys to say, hey, we got to pump out some really crazy ass stuff here to get these kids?
I'll be honest with you. I feel like there isn't a whole lot of pressure. Our staff, like our full-time staff, is the best in the country. You talk about guys and gals that like literally just are the best at what they do. And so recruiting season and the summer, like that doesn't faze them at all. Like they know their job and they know what they got to do, and they come in every day with the goal in mind, and they do it and they kill it. And it's cool to see other schools too. I mean, there's so many other schools that are doing just phenomenal things for recruiting, and like we're all kind of trying to edge each other out, but everybody's doing their own thing, which makes recruiting so fun. Is like when people come here, we take them to the stadium, we have a big recruiting setup where they get lights and they get smoke, and like that's all fun. And then you go to another school and they get like a big throne to sit on, and I think that's what makes the recruiting process for up and coming guys so cool, is they get to go to all these different schools and experience like a different atmosphere everywhere they go. But our guys here, like they know what their job is and they kill it every single day, and it's never been a question for them. Like they've been doing this for years, and this is like clockwork for them. And I haven't done a whole lot of recruiting stuff, but when I've been down there and I've been a part of it, like it just runs like clockwork. It's easy. It's fun. The guys that come in love it. We got guys that come in 2 or 3 or 4 times for visits, and they do the exact same thing, and they love it every single time. So like, when that is the feeling that people get, like they are enjoying what they're getting as an experience here. So yeah, but our team kills it. Like they're the best in the world, and they embrace that, and they know what their job is, and they do it every day.
Hey, that's amazing to hear. See, to me, I'd be stressed the hell out. I got Coach Beamer breathing on my neck. I don't want another Brian Kelly incident where he's dancing with a recruit, get turned into a meme here. So make sure Coach Beamer stays away from that. But yeah, good for you guys. Well, boys, any other questions before we put Alex on the hot seat here?
I might have some hot seat questions.
All right, perfect.
Just a quick one, Alex. Obviously, you cover so many different sports. When you took on the role, was there a sport that you weren't that interested into at the start, but now after covering it, you absolutely love?
Yeah, definitely. Last spring, our spring sports, there's so many that happen at once, from baseball, softball, track, tennis, beach volleyball. There's so much going on, and we, as students, we sign up every month for events, and our full-time staff kind of decipher who goes where and what opportunities people get. And so somebody said, hey, you might want to go shoot beach volleyball. Like, it's a fun environment. You can take your shoes off, get your feet in the sand. It's a good time. I was like, that sounds good to me. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. For being a guy that lives on the beach, literally have the beach 10 minutes away from my house in Savannah,
Nice.
a whole lot of beach volleyball. But I was like, you know what? I'll go out there. I'll see what it's about. And, they are the most fun team to be around. You talk about like a group of girls that they kill it. Like they have so much fun. And I got out there the first time, and there was music playing, and they're all in the sand, and they're all just like having a good time. And I was like, this is different. And I was a little bit like not really ready for it initially. And they broke me out of my comfort zone. And now they're one of my favorite teams to shoot, just because they're a good team. They're a fun team. And when you got a good team that's having fun, that makes good content every time. And so, I love going out to Wheelie B, as they call it, Wheeler Beach, which is apparently one of the best beach volleyball facilities in the country. And, they got a whole beach out there. And like I said, we kick our shoes off and get our feet in the sand and have a camera in hand. And it's like, it literally could not get any better than this. So that's definitely the one that like, I never would have thought I would have shot, 1 or 2 really enjoyed, and it became the opposite. So
That sounds pretty cool. That sounds actually very, very chilled out, which sounds great.
Yeah.
I would be fired from that immediately. Just chill up in the sand, cold drink, like, oh, I forgot my camera at the car. Dang, oh well.
I'll be honest with you, when you're out there, it's like, you know what? Like, this is chill environment, good music, beach.
Yeah.
Like, these are good vibes. Like, I could just hang out here all day. But, we got a job to do, too. So we got to get that content. We got to crank it out.
Yeah.
So, Alex, kind of piggybacking off of Matt here, you cover a lot of sports, you cover a lot of things. What is like your Picasso piece? What is, you look at something you create and you just do like the chef's kiss. You're just like, man, this is what I do this for. What is it?
I think for me, I think it's about like the relationships between our staff and the fans. Like, I think the most special thing for me as a creative is being in Williams-Brice. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and I can picture 85,000 people in there screaming their hearts out, and like being on the field and feeling that emotion and being able to capture it. And like, not a lot of people get to do that, whether it's, you know, literally any other sport. I mean, being in the SEC is one thing, but being at South Carolina and being at Williams-Brice is completely different. And like, the energy in that stadium is unlike any other. And so, you know, when you get to feel that, like, it's honestly, you know, we talk about all the time, like it's an emotional thing because it just is so powerful. And when you get like a really good shot or you get a really good fan moment, like, it just is that Picasso. It's that chef's kiss of like, yes, like, this is capturing people who love this team, love this university, like, love coming to Williams-Brice for football games. And so that really is it. And like, you know, we do a lot of, we come early to games and we go out to the tailgates, and just like interacting with people is super cool. As, you know, I like to think of myself as, you know, as I am on staff, I'm also serving these fans and serving our students. And so when I go out, I love to have connections with people and talk to people and get content of families tailgating and having a good time. And like, you know, I think y'all found me from that TikTok that I did, and it was like the stereotypes of a game day. And those are funny and all, but it's true. Like, we go out there and we interact with hundreds of people before a game, and we just get to be with them and you know, tell their story. And some of them have crazy stories to tell. Like, you know, we interviewed one guy, and he said that he took his current wife on their first date to a game at Willie B when they were like sophomores in college, and now their tradition is they go to every home game, and they've done it for 40 years. And it's like that kind of stuff, like, you don't really hear about it unless you get out and you get into the thick of it and you like ask people. And people, our fans, are so willing to like share their stories and let us be a part of their lives and their game day experience, which I think is so special. Like, you know, you talk about getting really good content and like that, and like being chef's kiss, and like, oh, everything is hype and that's what people think this is all about, but it's not. Like, we're telling a story about a culture that's shifting in this program and at this university. And so when we can take people that have been, you know, graduates and alumni from 4 years ago to 2 years ago, like, there's a big difference between those two. And then current students and future students and little kids, I love, there's these kids that come out every Saturday, and they play football. They just, I don't know, it's like two-hand touch / they tackle the hell out of each other half the time. And I think week 3 I went out there, and I always walk by them. I never say anything. And week 3 I was like, all right, I'm going in. I'm getting in it. And I was like, I'm bringing the camera in. I was like, all right, you know what? We're gonna make it happen. You guys do your thing. I'll do my thing. And damn, did they run the hell out of me. I mean, I was going to left, throwing to right. They're like screaming at me. They're like, that's a flag. I'm like, dude, I'm just shooting this. Like, this is not my call. And they're like, you're the old guy. Like, you're the man. You should know. I'm like, no, I shouldn't. This is not, like, you just tackled him. This is two-hand touch. Also, you've been in the backfield for like 30 seconds. You would have been sacked by now, bro. Like, don't even. But it's like, it's that kind of stuff that it's just like, it's fun. And then weeks later, like months later in January, I had a kid comment on one of my TikToks, and he's like, dude, like, I remember you came out and shot video of us playing football. That was super cool. And it's like, that kind of stuff is what makes all of this worth it. Because it's like, you know, we're doing stuff that is resonating with people, and it's being a part of their game day experience and stuff that they remember. And like that honestly is the ultimate chef's kiss of like, you know, serving these fans and serving these kids. Like, I'm a big kids guy. I love interacting with like younger kids, especially on game day. And so like, that's the chef's kiss for me.
Nice. That's a good answer. Yeah, I feel like the more guests we have on this podcast, it's all getting tied back to relationships, particularly with the fans. And so it's interesting to get that kind of perspective when, you know, before this podcast, I never thought about that, but yeah, interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, I want to ask you the tough question here.
Go ahead.
How do you compete with the other teams in the state, primarily the team that wears orange and rubs a rock before they go on the field. And even a team down in Myrtle Beach that's been given our alum App State a run for its money in Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
What is the appeal? Like, what would you say? And maybe even your staff, like what is appealing about South Carolina, USC Gamecock versus some of the other schools in the state?
Yeah, I mean, I think about, I'm not from South Carolina. And like, I honestly really wasn't from the South. Like I said, like I was born a Buckeye fan. So, when I came down to the South, I was like, oh, UGA Bulldogs, South Carolina Gamecocks, like Florida Gators are all the same. I was like, I hate all of them. Buckeye for life, whatever. But like when I came here, I quickly learned about this big rivalry with that team upstate, and about this team out at the beach that came out of nowhere a couple years ago, and they've been killing it ever since. And so, for a creative side, like I think the three universities, we do a really good job of kind of building each other up. We have three really solid teams of people. Clemson does an amazing job with their creative content, as much as there are rivals, and we want to go at them all the time. Like the stuff that they do is incredible. And then, you got guys like Thomas out in Coastal Carolina, and he's killing it out there. And like, it's a small school, but they're making a big impact on the college football scale, and like as a team, but also as like a content team. And so, I think all three of them honestly are really great. I think for South Carolina, like the thing that makes us special right now specifically is this culture shift. And, you can't really experience it until you feel it. And, for us, like on the content side, like that's what we're working on is creating content that you can feel. Like we want you to feel this culture shift. We want you to feel the Beamer era coming at you like a freight train, because it is. Like we talk about the Shane train, like it's a real thing. And, in Columbia, we feel it every day. And, but if you're farther away, you don't get to experience it. And that's the same thing with Dawn Staley and women's basketball. And like they came out of nowhere and they won the Natty, and it surprised people because UConn's the big powerhouse, and NC State and Stanford, whatever. But like they came like a freight train, and this culture that is at South Carolina's university and as an athletics department is special, and it's really becoming one of the biggest parts of this university. And so, I say, bring it on. Like we, as a content team, our job is to tell that story, and we try to do that every day. And obviously all those other schools are doing that too, and they're doing a phenomenal job. But, we have a culture shift that's happening here. And I think culture is like one of the biggest parts of anything that you can be a part of. And being on a culture shift is super, super cool to be a part of, and super special. And I think that's what makes us stand out, especially right now.
It's an amazing answer. Yeah, great answer. Well, Alex, if you're ready for it, we'll put you on the hot seat here. First answer comes to mind. Let it rip, man.
Go ahead.
We'll have some fun with it.
Cool. Hold on. Let me pause you real quick. I got to put my charger on my computer.
Go for it.
You don't want that fire on the hot seat. It's too hot.
I just like completely go offline. You guys are like, no, he couldn't handle it.
He's done.
He's done. I'm out. I got it for it.
I do have 3 hot seat questions, by the way, Hacky.
Yeah, Fitz, if you
I
want.
just came up with.
Perfect. Fitz, we'll let you go first when he gets settled in. And then
All right, just a little warm up.
Yeah.
You bring them on. I'm ready for you.
All right, Republic Beer Garden or Pearl's Oyster Bar?
I got to say Republic Beer Garden. The food is good, but they have Wednesday night
Trivia.
And it's unmatched. It's so much fun. My friends and I go there all the time, and we do Wednesday night trivia. And like we stumbled upon it one night. We went there for dinner, and we were like, okay, there's trivia happening right now. Let's buy in. Let's do it. And it became like a big part of what we do. And we go all the time, and it's a great time. So
I go to trivia. We need to.
We gotta
combine forces here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, have you had an oyster shooter at Pearl's?
I have not.
Yeah, you got to get Columbia points by doing that. Definitely move.
I'll be honest with you. I don't have a lot of Columbia points. I get made fun of all the time for never going to restaurants in Columbia. So I might have to do that to boost.
That's all good. Hey, you did trivia at Beer Garden, so that's something. All right, Tin Roof or CWP?
I think I'd have to say CWP.
It's a little country dancing.
Little country dancing. You can't go wrong. I mean, everybody that goes there has a good time. Put the cowboy boots on, cowboy hat, and you jam out, line dancing. Can't go wrong with that, right?
Nice. All right, last one. Favorite Gamecock?
That's a great question, actually. I'm going to go with an unconventional answer, and my answer is Frank Martin. He is one of my all-time favorite people ever. I got to work for him for 3 years, and I played basketball my whole life. So you want to talk about like my AAU ball coach in high school was the exact same way that he was. And so when I came to South Carolina, I was like, dang, this is another day. It's literally nothing different from my AAU coach. And so I totally bought into everything he was about. And it was sad to see him go, and we're looking forward to the future of South Carolina men's basketball. But he was a lot of fun to be around, and he's just the most genuine guy. He's got a high head and on the court, but his love for his players, his staff, us as creatives, even he cares so much, and he's just one of the most genuine people. And so when I think about all-time greats, South Carolina, it's not a player, it's a coach, and it's Frank Martin.
That's a solid answer. He seems just like a fireball, man.
It's pretty crazy. A lot of people think that, and it's true. But it stems from passion, and it stems from love for his players. And, he buys into his guys day one. He's got their back always. And, his foundations as a coach are building men and building guys that are a significant part of society. And so he's building these men, these boys, and creating them, building them into men. And so, you see it on TV, you see it in the pictures. It's iconic. It's what Frank Martin is. You think, oh, he's this crazy hothead, but it's fueled out of love, and it's fueled out of wanting these guys to be the best that they possibly can be. And once you're around it a lot, you get to see it, and it's pretty special.
Absolutely. Hell yeah. I'm here for that answer.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you a little easy one, and we'll get into it a little bit more, kind of like what Fitz did for you a little bit. I don't know if his was easy, though. But all-time favorite Gamecock memory so far?
Wow, that's a good one. I think I have two. My first one would probably be when Alabama came my freshman year, so that was 2019. We did not win that game, but I was a student. I was in the student section, and it was first quarter. I think they had scored. I think we had scored. We were on a 4th and maybe 8, something like that, and we were lined up for a field goal. And we were like, all right, we'll get 3 out of this, whatever. Everyone's kind of settling down, and they run this fake kick to perfection. When you talk about a student section that literally lost it, we were all over each other on the ground. I had beer all over me. It was hot and sweaty. It was 110 degrees already, so it was just gross. We lost it, and then the whole stadium, it was insane. And then you look down on the field, and there's 8 flags, and we're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. They call it back for, I guess it was a false start or something like that. So that moment was, I don't think I've ever been a part of a sports moment that loud and that crazy. And I still tell people that, people will be like, oh, what's your favorite moment of Williams-Brice? And it's that moment, because even though we didn't even get the call, it was the most special thing I've ever been a part of. That many people, just it was wild. But I also think about what I was telling y'all before we hopped on of, when the women's team won the national championship, we had probably 10 guys from our staff that we all went and got dinner before, and half of us went to T-Coop and were ready to get that foul shot, and half of us went to 5 points, and my group went to T-Coop, and we got there about 10 minutes early, and there was nobody there. We were looking around, we were like, all right, so people aren't going to the fountain. This is not 2017 when men's and women's win. This is not going to be what we thought it was, and slowly people started coming, and then we look around, and there's maybe 200 people, and we're like, okay, this is, if the clock runs out at 0, this will be good enough to get a piece out of it for a video. And so the 4 of us hopped in the fountain first, which was disgusting. I don't what was at the bottom. It was like soft and it was gooey and it was gross. But we were in it, and everyone was like, "Oh, y'all are in it first. How does it feel?" I was like, "It's gross. It's nasty. You don't have to get in if you don't want to." But they're like, "No, we're getting in." So we're like we had like grouped up maybe with like 2 minutes to go. We were all talking about like, okay, here's our game plan. And then we broke and we turned around, and there was literally just a sea of people around the edge of the fountain. And I was like, this is about to be special. And so everyone's watching it on their phones, and like they're counting it down. They're 10, 9, 8. And they all just see like it's just like a giant wave of people just crash into each other all at the same time. And it was unbelievable. Like you talk about like rushing a court, rushing a field. Rushing a fountain is as good, if not better. Like it's wet and people are screaming, and like it was dark, and the only lights that were there were phone lights, and so it was like low key pretty cinematic. You were kind of looking around, and you're like, this is a movie for real. Like this is crazy. But that was cool. And then 10 minutes later, we look around, and there's got to be 5,000 students. Like nobody could move in the fountain. Around the fountain, it was just people as far as you could see. Everyone's screaming, chanting, and like it got to the point where we were like, all right, we've gotten all the content we need. Like, let's just live in the moment, like be a part of this. And so, we all were just a part of it and a part of this memorable experience and history for South Carolina. And it was unforgettable. It was top 5 moment of my life, just capturing it one, and then being a part of it too, and just being with friends and coworkers and just experiencing like that energy was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And I had to Google a picture of the fountain to see what you were talking about there, but yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. I love it. Biggest inspiration for doing what you're doing right now. So someone you look up to or you gather inspiration from.
Honestly, my biggest inspiration is my boss, Justin King. I don't know if that's a name that comes to mind for y'all, but for me, it initially didn't either. When I went to college, my plan was to do graphic design, and I knew that I wanted to do it for sports, but like I had never picked up a camera. I'd never edited anything ever in my life. And so freshman year, we were a week or two into the football season, and all my friends at UJ were like, oh, South Carolina football, there's nothing like Sanford Stadium and the Dogs. And I was tired of hearing it, so I hopped on iMovie and I downloaded a bunch of YouTube and Instagram videos illegally and cut together this thing and put it on my Instagram. And before I knew it, like Barstool Gamecocks was like, yo, we want this. Can you send it to us? And I was like, sure. And before I knew it, it was popping off, and it was fun, and it was electric. And I was like, okay, I want to do this every week. Like this, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is fun. So I started doing it. And a couple weeks in, people were like, hey, like if you're serious about this, you got to talk to Justin King. And I was like, who the hell is that? Like, I don't know who that is. And they're like, well, you look him up and you'll figure out who it is. And sure enough, I find out that he's literally the guy that created the industry that I work in now. Like he's one of the guys that started creative media for sports. And so of course I DM'd him, and, we met up at a football game, and he talked to me for like 4 seconds, and he was like, hey, like if you want to come in one day, we can talk. And I was like, okay. And so initially he meant nothing to me, and he became my boss, and then he wasn't my boss, and that's a whole different story. If you want to hear about it, I can tell it. And then he became my boss again. But honestly, like, he's the guy I look up to the most. Like everything that I've learned has in some way stemmed through him, whether it's literally been from him or been from people that he's hired. He just has such an impact on me as a young creative, and honestly as a man too. Like I've learned so much about being like a genuine person through him. Like he's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. And so when I think about like where I started and where I am now and like where I'm headed, a lot of that credit goes to him, because he's not only my boss, but he's a friend, and he's a great coworker, and he's taught me so much just on every level of business and life and being a man. And, I look up to him a lot for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Max Renfro mentioned Justin King as well when we interviewed him. And, like you said, he's kind of like a legend. He's kind of the birth of sports created or sports content, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to send a snippet of this to him? Just, just a little Like, hey, how you doing?
And we'll dock it up for you. We'll make it sound good.
Yeah.
What is one thing, or what is one game you have circled on your calendar as a Gamecock fan, or maybe even just a content creator? Like, hey, this is going to be some excellent content to make here.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good question too. I think for me, I'm really looking forward to us hosting Georgia Week 3 this upcoming football season. Of course, we want the dominoes to line up and everything to fall into place how we want it for Week 3. We feel pretty confident about that, and from the content side, like, we can't picture a better situation than us being 2-0, the defending champs being 2-0, and us getting like a 3:30 game on CBS or a 7 p.m. late night at Williams-Brice. Like, talk about an atmosphere like any other in college football. That's it. I think ahead to that, and I'm like, that could be the game of my life. It's just, that's what you want as a creative, as a student, like even as a student, like everybody's got that weak circle. We want the defending champs, and we want to bring them here because Williams-Brice is like none other, and Sandstorm pierces your soul when you are not the home team. And that, I've been thinking, I'll be honest with you, I've been thinking about that game since the schedule came out, and I've been like, dang, like if there's going to be one, that's going to be the one that's going to be special. So I think about that game the most for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm here for that answer. Perfect. And I can see that scenario line up just perfect, man. 3:30 game, CBS, 7 o'clock game. Like you said, all four of us will be glued to the TV watching. Maybe not Matt if it's 7 o'clock. He's probably passed out by then if it's not a Tuesday night. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good deal. Go to, like, Gamecocks just won Saturday night. You're feeling good. Go to spot in Columbia. Go to drink.
That's a good question.
I'm going to judge you however you answer.
I'm sure you will. That's a good question, actually. Well, let's say we won at 7 o'clock. I'm probably not getting off work till 1 or 2 a.m. And I honestly can't think of a better situation than like being with my coworkers at Williams-Brice. We're the only ones there. The only lights that are on are our cinematic LEDs that are just like the staple of Williams-Brice. And, we hang out, we get our work done, and then we just sit and hang out and kind of reminisce, but also just chalk it up and have a good time. And like that honestly is the perfect situation for me because my coworkers I love to death, and like those are some of our best times is, especially after a win, just like having a good time, and like nobody wants to leave. And honestly, if I'm explaining that scenario after a long game and during the night, a crisp Diet Coke does me absolute wonders. It's unbelievable. You want to talk about getting somebody back into it? A Diet Coke will do it for me, especially when I'm with my coworkers. I'm like, dang, this is it right here. Like, can't get any better.
This is life. I'm living it.
This is life, and it's probably not the answer you were expecting, but I gave you that one because that's what I think of.
I love it. It's our most PG answer, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Give me Columbia Craft IPA.
That's not a bad option either, though. I will say.
Boys, any other hot seat questions for Alex before we let him off? Hey, awesome, Alex. You passed it with flying colors, man. We appreciate the hell at you. We're going to talk some other sports here if you want to chop it up with us. I don't know you know much about NBA, NFL, that type of stuff. You're more than welcome to. If you
I'm down to hang. If y'all want me, I'd be happy to stay. Yeah.
Hey, come on, brother. Let's have you on.
I'll let you do your thing.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the UCFL, which is taking flight during this springtime. I don't know if you got a chance to watch any of it, Alex, but it gives us a little light into like, oh, we've had some spring games, drafts coming up, kind of bridging the football gap that we've been missing. Yeah. But the USFL has tried some new things, kind of like the XFL, but they haven't partnered with the NFL officially like the XFL has. And so I really just want our thoughts on how the USFL is doing, how can it get better, that type of stuff. Any and all thoughts, if you guys got them, let it rip.
I didn't see. I saw something on Terrell Owens, but I wasn't sure if he was playing in the USFL.
That's the fan control league. So that's
the
different
fan
league.
control league.
He caught a tutty
Okay.
though, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
being
That's what I
40-something
saw,
years
and I was
old.
like, I don't think this is the same as US. I also saw Coach Jeff Fisher with the backwards hat in the USFL, and I was like, Jeff Fisher would be a backwards hat guy.
Yep.
I'm here for it. He looks cool as hell, by the way. So I'm a big backwards hat guy, so I love it.
Other than that, I didn't watch any of this.
Even though you're wearing frontwards hat right now, but it's cool.
I know. I was trying to be professional, show the logo, all that good stuff.
The biggest complaint that I've heard, and I wouldn't say it's mine, but like people were just kind of bashing the play, and it's like this isn't NFL level play here. Like these players are developing. I mean, I don't like using the development league for this, but I mean, you can't expect the same level of play like you do on Sunday. So people need to kind of tone their expectations down a little bit, I feel.
No, I think you're right. And I don't know if you saw this, but the specialists have been blaming the ball. The ball weighs about 5 more ounces than a normal ball, and it's not proportional 5 ounces. Like it's lopsided because they're trying to process how the ball's thrown. They're trying to get all those mechanics and stats during live games. And so a lot of quarterbacks and kickers and punters are not very happy with the ball right now, which is a little different. But I think you hit the nail on the head, Tim. Play is not to Sunday level, which we'll all come to expect. It's not even Saturday level. But these guys have only practiced 4 or 6 weeks together. The ball's obviously lopsided, different size, and so it's going to take some time for it to gel. I hope it stays because it gives us springtime football. But I'm not hopeful. I don't know. It might get belly up again. But I did love, I don't know if you guys saw this.
To see what he's
got a helmet cam.
Okay, here's the collision. There's Scooby. Boom. Puts his shoulders down.
You'll see a little live action there.
That's just all Will getting behind your pads. You see how they come down to the field.
I'm taking notes as a creative. I haven't seen that before.
Oh yeah, there you go. But I love those type of views. Like if you're going to give me that mid game, I'm here for it. But I better see like someone get rocked or a sick juke or something. I don't want to see just 32 zone and it goes for 4 yards and that's it. Like give me something else. Give me some good stuff there. But I'm sure as a content creator, you're loving that.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I've actually never seen that. So I was like, when I saw that 3 seconds ago, I was like, dang, we got to figure out a way to do that this summer. That's sick. We got to get on that hill before somebody else does. But I mean, obviously they already did. But no, that's it.
I'm sure there's a GoPro you could like put right there, maybe mock it down to a small size or something. You might be able to sneak it in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
That thing's gonna have to take a beating though if you get like a linebacker or something. Jeez.
I love it. Well, other NFL news coming up. The match is set. This time, I don't know, Alex, you play a lot of golf or not? South Carolina's got some beautiful golf courses down there.
I play a little bit of golf. I do it more for pleasure and less for competition. But, the boys and I will go out every once in a while and get it going out there on the court.
Hey, you and me both, man. I don't play for money because I am terrible at it. But I do love it until I get mad.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, we got Brady and Rodgers teaming up to take on Mahomes and Josh Allen. Kind of a passing of the torch quarterback classes here. We've had arguably the GOAT of NFL, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, who's been consistent MVP numbers since he started. And then you got Mahomes and Allen, who have been creeping up and try to take over that mantle on the gridiron. Now they're teeing off on the 9 or 18 holes here. What's your all's thoughts on this one?
So they're not teaming up with professional golfers.
No, so it's a little different from years past.
Yeah, that's a little. I was a little frustrated by that. I kind of like the quarterback with a player, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a Rodgers fan, and I'm just like, I don't know. I wish he would.
You're just mad he's teamed up with Tom Brady. That's all it is.
No, I like Tom Brady. I don't know.
I think the NFL is smart right now. They're in the off season. It's like, okay, how can we like keep people engaged? Like we might as well just put 4 of our biggest stars, put them on the golf course and call it a day and let them do their own thing. It's like easy money.
Dude, absolutely. That's exactly what I've been saying. Like this is like, yes, people love to see Tiger and Tom together, But now you get Tom and Aaron, you get to hear them shit talk each other. Like, I'll see you in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Like, this is going to make all types of money. You being a content creator, you're going to get all types of content from this. Like, this is going to be chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
No, this is what they should do. They should do, each team has to put 2 of their players. So, like, you have a Packers duo, you have a Patriots duo, you have, and they do like a whole weekend. And it's basically just a poor man's Masters. Like, by Sunday, you're like, oh man, Mason Crosby and Aaron Rodgers are leading with 4 holes to go or whatever. I'd be all in.
I don't think it's selling tickets though, Fitz. Maybe for you and the Green Bay faithful, but like no one's like, oh, fucking Mason Crosby's teeing off. Let's go see this. Like, come on.
Or like, I'm trying to think, like, who would be like a big linebacker, like giving it a stab, and they're just trash, like Von Miller or something.
Matt, Tim, any thoughts on this?
Josh Allen, just why? Just why? What has he done to just be in this group of men here? I just don't get it.
Why do you hate this man so much?
Because everyone just like, I don't know, they seem to just slobber over him, but he hasn't done anything.
Tim, actually, I'll agree with you on that take. I agree with you.
The other 3 are Super Bowl champs. Like,
I don't agree with your just hatred of Josh Allen, but I'm with you. He's definitely not on this level.
Who would you have instead then, Tim? Who
would you replace him?
Don't
Really?
say Jameis. Don't say Jameis.
Seriously.
Don't you dare say that.
I mean, it's pretty clear. I would put Stafford in there.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Whoa, why are you, Evan? What are you laughing for?
Because I was with you, and then now I'm not. Now I'm like, all right, you're trolling again.
Like putting Baker Mayfield in that conversation.
Yeah, let's put Baker in there. Yeah.
Shit, put Baker in there. He's drumming up more business than Josh Allen right now. I just don't get Josh Allen. I just don't get it. Like,
you're a Lions fan. You just don't get excellence. I hear you.
Whew.
I just don't know. This whole it almost seems forced, you know. The other 3 you can be like, oh yeah, like they've hit the pinnacle of NFL, and now this is like extracurricular. And then you have Josh Allen. It's like, what? Am I the only one that sees that?
Yeah, I don't know who the 4th could be though. That's a good question, because like with Russell Wilson, I feel like that'd be probably the best pick, but even those other 3 seem like they're in a different stratosphere at this point.
Yeah. Listeners, watchers, let us know who you'd replace with him with. And,
Jimmy G.
All right, get out of here, Tim.
Yo, Jimmy G has more Super Bowls than Rodgers and Mahomes. Think about that.
Super Bowl appearances.
No, Super Bowl.
I could have won those Super Bowls by sitting on the bench.
I got you. Yeah.
All right, I can't deal with you anymore. All right, NFL, we got the draft coming up in 9 days. 9 days away from the draft. I know South Carolina, you're probably buzzing down there, Alex, because you got some guys in the draft that could make some splash. Maybe not top 5 talent, projected, but I think there's a lot of South Carolina ball players out there that can creep up in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, and they can make a really impact, which is awesome for you guys because you get to make content. You get to put them up on your NFL walls there and say, hey, come be a part of this, be the next part of the NFL wall, which is pretty cool for you guys.
Yeah, we're super excited right now. Last year I was able to go with Shi Smith, who is currently on the Panthers right now. I went to his house on draft day to capture that moment. That was, unbelievable. You talk about like a local kid going to a local team. Like it was unbelievable. But I haven't got my assignment yet for this year's draft. I know I don't know if we have as many guys as last year. But we got draft videos get kind of ramping up for them as we get closer, and all of our guys are going to show out for us no matter what, wherever they go. So we'll definitely have somebody with each of them, and we'll be ready to capture that moment because it's a special moment. It's special, like it's special to be a part of. It's usually a guy, a football player, a big manly guy being really vulnerable because it's a special moment for them and an ability to be like on the next level and on the big stage, and we get to be a part of that. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, you're damn right. And, tell Justin, hey, you got 9 days, man. Lock me into a location right now. Let's go get it.
Yeah, for real.
That's awesome. Well, boys, looking at our top 5 draft here, what is the Pub Sports Talk mock draft? Locking in 1 through 5. And I'll go through our order here. We got the Jags at number 1, the Lions number 2, Texans 3. Number 4 and 5 is kind of up for grabs. Right now, it's supposed to be the Jets and Giants. This could change because of some trades, but we'll say the Jets 4, Giants number 5. And I'll go ahead and get started. Aiden Hutchinson, edge rusher, amazing for Michigan. I think he's a solid number 1 pick. He's going to Jacksonville, which I don't know if that's the ticket or not. But then you got Trayvon Walker, defensive lineman from Georgia, who, Alex, I'm sure you know a lot about, whether you like to or not.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. One stud of a player. He's 6'5", 272 pounds if I talk. And dude is just a menace to offensive linemen. And then Thibodeau being another edge rusher. Those 3, I'd be looking at the top 5 for all 3 of them to go somewhere. I think defense is the way to go for this draft. We don't see a lot of quarterbacks being taken, a lot of wide receivers, running backs, but I think defense is what you want for this one. What's your all's thoughts on this?
I think Aiden Hutchinson's the best. I think he's the best player available. And I don't know where mock drafts are putting him. I feel like he's kind of being slept on, like maybe 2nd or 3rd pick. But you're talking about a guy who kind of similar to like the Watt brothers, just can disrupt as one player on a defense, can just make an impact immediately. So I think he'd be a great snag for the Jags. Tim, I know your lines are sitting there at 2, so maybe he'll slip and fall to you guys, but he's for me kind of a no-brainer pick. But also, I mean, we've talked about how this is a defensive draft, and really maybe even a in the trenches draft, like going for offensive line, defensive line. So maybe Hutchinson is kind of the sexy pick, like he's the edge rusher. But there's also some great like interior guys. So actually, my pick, I guess my good pick that I like. You gotta go for Sauce Gardner, just because his name is Sauce. I'm like,
get lost in the sauce out there.
This guy, exactly. I'm like, this guy has to be like. I just feel like that his name is just made to make an early impact in the NFL.
Dude can ball out too, playing from Cincinnati. I mean, I think he's gonna go somewhere, and you gotta jump if you're his agent. Jump on that brand right now. Get some limited edition sauce out there for your chicken nuggets or whatever it might be. And let's rip up some offenses.
There's got to be a highlight reel with who's saying too much sauce. Too much sauce.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sure that's like a 2018 highlight cut up or something.
Some of the mock drafts I've been looking at has shown the Jaguars taking offensive lineman Iquanu. Am I saying that right? I'm probably butchering it. I hope. Oh my gosh, I hope, because Hutchinson staying in Detroit would just be like, people's biggest complaint on Hutchinson, from what I've seen, is that they think like, okay, he's already kind of hit his ceiling. Like, yes, he's the best player of the draft, but is the potential there?
Oh, that's the stupidest argument.
I don't.
They do that all the time.
I agree.
They did that with Jonathan Taylor with
when
he was coming out of Wisconsin.
It's like the classic cop out, like, oh, but can he have potential in the? It's so dumb. But I'm hoping it drums up enough that he falls to the Lions, because imagine him and Dan Campbell. Like, oh my gosh, it would be amazing. A man can dream, but I'm hopeful. I'm also hopeful the Panthers are crazy enough to trade up and maybe take the number 2 pick. And I don't know if they're crazy enough to try a quarterback. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if they're getting like the itchy trigger finger, and like if Matt Rule doesn't start doing something, then he's out. Or that's kind of my crazy pick of the day, is that Panthers actually trade up with the Lions for the number 2 pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, I mean, you get some good draft capital there, Tim. Yeah, you guys are sitting in a good spot right now.
Yes.
Matt, Alex, any thoughts here about a mock draft? Anybody who you see going on one or who's getting slept on?
I mean, I gotta say, I think Hutchinson. I mean, how can you not take him? Like he's been a force all year. Like he is just. I mean, he's just been a force. Like he just takes over the game on the defensive side. So it's like how could you not? Like he's a big guy. He's understood the assignment all season. Like, you know, if you're gonna take a chance on somebody and you need defense, like he seems like the go ahead easy money pick, right?
Exactly, right? Like you need him. Jacksonville clearly needs some defense to help touchdown Jesus down there. Yeah, get him, seal him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Trevor Lawrence needs some help. I'm not a big fan of him because he's from upstate, but you know, he's down bad down there because he's got no defense to help him out, and he can score all the touchdowns he wants, but he needs defense. So I feel like this is an easy money selection for them.
Yeah, Matt.
I'm just curious to see how many Bulldogs go in the first round, because they could literally dominate it. Over Trevor Walker. There's so many others that I can't name off the top of my head, but yeah, there's a lot of it's gonna be a defensive draft, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you guys all said it all.
Yeah, no, you're right, and there's been a trend. You win the Natty, you're guaranteed probably 5 first-round picks, 4 first-round picks off the bat, and that just seems to be the trend here. So, yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if there's going to be a MyBookie Raphael type of bet out there, prop bet, how many Bulldogs are getting picked. Might have to hammer that. We'll see. All right, NBA, Matt or Alex, you talked about growing up playing basketball, AAU. You got a favorite NBA team?
I do. My favorite NBA team is the Miami Heat. We are sitting pretty right now.
Are you living it?
We are living it. And it's honestly like this playoffs is, I think all around, I think it's one of the best playoffs we're going to get in a while. It's very like 2012, 2013-esque, which I think is like some of the peak years of NBA. But there's really like, there's so many teams that could come out of the East and the West. And like, it's not just the Warriors and the Cavs anymore. It's like, okay, anybody could pull it out. And like, in the East, you got like Brooklyn, and they're like in a tough spot, but they could dark horse come out of the East. And then you got teams like the Phoenix Suns out West, and they look so money, but then you got Golden State, and they're healthy again, and they're scary AF. And it's just fun. Like the playoffs are back, and like fans are back, and it's just fun to watch again.
Dude, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. They've had some of the biggest ratings that they've had in 4 or 5 seasons for playoffs so far, and it seems to only be trending up, especially when you got Kyrie return to Boston, throwing up the double birds, that type of stuff. That drives viewership. You love to see it, and all types of stuff. Now, Alex, you're showing your age here a little bit, because if you grew up a Heats fan in Georgia or Ohio or South Carolina, that means you follow LBJ a little bit.
It's funny. It's a lot of people think that, and I have to tell this story because I was in 5th grade. I think it was maybe 2009, and I was the most unathletic kid you could possibly be. And my dad was like, he's like, look, son, like we're putting you in sports. We're gonna put you in baseball. We're gonna put you in basketball. You're gonna start running cross country. Like you're going into sports. And the NBA playoffs had just released a bracket. I remember like being out on the back porch. My dad always used to read the paper, and the playoff bracket was in the newspaper, and he's like, all right, like, look at all these teams. There's a picture for each of them. He's like, pick a team. Doesn't matter who. I'll buy you a shirt. They're your team. Like, you're going to stick with this team. And I was like, okay, the Heat, that's like a cool name. And like, my dad told me about this Dwayne Wade guy, and he seemed pretty cool. And so my dad got me a Dwayne Wade shirt. Still have it. It doesn't fit, but I still have it in my room. And from that day on, like, I was like, you know what? I'm a Buckeye fan, but like I'll be a diehard Heat fan too, and I'll embrace it. And then of course, the LeBron Big 3 era came and went, and that was unforgettable. And then we had some rough years after that, but I mean it's fun again. And I've been a Heat lifer since that day, and being a part of Heat Nation is special. And it's there's not a lot of us up here, but when you find one every once in a while, it's fun to be around them. But Heat Nation for life, and we're gonna see what they got coming this playoffs for sure.
Hey, good for you and good for your dad. Get a round of applause for him, because if it's anything like me and Tim's situation, I grew up a Cincinnati diehard fan because my father was. And so I was past that curse, much like Tim being past the curse of being a Detroit Lions fan. And so shout out for your dad to break generational curses there and say, hey, you got to pick your own team. I love it.
I didn't get it all because I'm still a diehard Browns fan and I'm an Indian Guardians fan now. So, I tell people, like, I have a Browns jersey in my closet at home and it has like 12 layers of duct tape on the back last name because there was a new 11 every year and it was like I can't catch a break. And then I finally got a Baker jersey and now that does me no good either. So it's like I got to get a new jersey. I got to find or get some brown duct tape and put it over his name for whoever's going to be 6 this year. But I didn't get all the blessings because I'm still a Browns fan and I still got to embrace that, as rocky road as that is. It's not easy. But
hey, fair enough. Real quick thoughts. Watson, we loving it, hating it?
I initially didn't love it. I was like, you know what? He's kind of washed. Like, we haven't seen him in a year and a half. Like, whatever. I don't know how I feel. I'm a big Baker guy. I think he's given everything he's got to the city and to the fan base. And, like, he hasn't been the greatest quarterback, but, like, we as a city and as a fan base love him. He's been our guy. And then Deshaun Watson came out of nowhere. Like, all my friends here were like, dude, it's not happening. And I was like, they might pull it out. And then they did. And I was like, oh, shoot, like, this is my guy now. I got to support this guy. And initially I wasn't a big fan of it, but, I've started to see kind of through some of the stuff that they've been posting, like, he's pretty bought in. Like, he was there day one. And, the other day they were at practice and we got a first look of, him at practice. And he seems bought in. And, he's a good quarterback from what we've seen in the past. And I think we have a really good team and we've kind of been looking for an answer at QB. And as great as Baker's been, like, this might be the answer we need. So I'm down for it. I think the number one most important thing is, like, he's got to buy in to the fans and to the city. Like, that's what Cleveland begs. That's what you need in Cleveland. And they will run him out of town if he doesn't do either of those things. So if he's bought in, I'm here for it. I think he could be a big part of our success kind of going forward, but I think only time will tell for now.
Hey, absolutely. Blue collar city. You got to work your ass off to be appreciated. And once you do, the dog pound's all for you. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, switching back to NBA here. Playoffs heating up. Like you said, your Heat are sitting in a real great spot. 1-0. They got game 2 tonight against the Hawks. Hawks, really talented bunch, but it seems like injuries have caught up to them. Heat just keep rolling and loving it. 76ers up 2-0 on Toronto. Bucks up 1-0 on Chicago. And the Celtics up 1-0 on the Nets. On the Western side, we got Suns up 1-0 on New Orleans. Mavs and Jazz tied 1 apiece, which, that series right there for round 1 might be the series of them all, maybe. Then we got Warriors and Nuggets. Warriors up 2-0. And then T-Wolves not backing down from their Grizz. They want all the smoke. They're up 1 game on the Grizz. What's our thoughts for the NBA playoffs so far?
Yeah, Jazz Mavs, playing without Luka. And it felt like the Mavs stole one at home, if that makes any sense, because they were supposed to lose without Luka. So if they get Luka back, that'd be a good sign if they can play well without him. And then just imagine what they're doing with him. I also wanted to touch on Miami Heat. I think they're the deepest team, just as far as like their bench and their rotation. But the Sixers look like they're on the way to sweep the Raptors. And I think that could create for the most exciting second round matchup would be the Sixers versus the Heat, which is just, I think both those teams, like what you were saying, Alex, just a lot of stories this year. And the Sixers as a 4 seed, they could easily make a run. This could be Joel Embiid's time. Yeah. I think that's been exciting. And then obviously go Wolves. I'm repping my Minnesota today, pulling for all the Minnesota teams tonight, Wild, Twins, and Timberwolves, as they try to take 2 games from Ja Morant.
Yo, I got to say, we've been talking about this all week, but that T-Wolves Grizzlies matchup, I think, is going to be one of the best playoff series we've seen in a while. Like, the fact that those teams got matched up is like you got young guns versus young guns. It's like the future. Like being an Ohio State guy, I'm a big D'Lo fan and like been riding with him kind of since day one, and like seeing him finally get his chance now to be great. And then you got like Ja Morant, and the Grizzlies are just like so fun to watch. And I feel like that, like you talked about that Jazz Mavericks matchup, and it's solid, I think, for sure. But like I think about that Grizzlies T-Wolves matchup, and it's like, dang, like this is gonna go to 7, and it's gonna be like every game is gonna be like game 1. Like they're gonna be at each other, and they're gonna be up each other's skins, and like talk about Memphis wanting all the smoke, but like you said, like the T-Wolves want that smoke too, and they're coming for it. And it's like it's just fun. Like it's like I was saying earlier, like it's like old. Like I think Heat Pacers like 2012, 2013, like it was dogs fighting dogs, and like it was brutal and it was tough and it was fun to watch. And you got these two out there out in the West, and even though it's like Minnesota is not really West, I don't get that. But you got this Western Conference matchup, and it's like, dang, like these guys are going at each other, and it's fun to watch.
You're absolutely right. It's kind of old school physical basketball. Like, hey, you're gonna get your points, but you're gonna film the next morning. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
I'm also curious, this feels like a year the Warriors. This feels like it feels like the Warriors are playing at the right time. They've got Steph back, which was weird. Steph came off the bench last night and dropped like 38. I've seen a lot of like six man of the year, Steph Curry, just like trolling. But yeah, Steph basically just took over last night at the end of the second or the first half there. But yeah, just some great stories. Like you're looking ahead, like, okay, Warriors, if they played the Suns, what does that look like? You're looking at, okay, like Sixers Heat, would the winner of that take on the Bucks, or can the Nets kind of sneak their way? Or, is this the Celtics that people are kind of sleeping on Boston? So yeah, Alex, you're gonna be ringing in the back of my mind. Just great call on. It feels like it's a decade ago. Feels like there's a lot of teams on the rise, trying to figure out if there's going to be a next dynasty, like who's going to be the next team. That could be born, just within this summer.
Definitely.
Yeah. Tim, Matt, any NBA thoughts for you guys?
Kind of just echoing what you guys said. I think this, and I mean, the circumstances are different, but I feel like this is the best basketball we've seen in quite a while. It's just, we've talked about it before, about it being a little more physical, and that's the kind of basketball I grew up with, and that's the kind I obviously lean toward. So, throw a little bows in there, get a little gritty, and I'm all for it. Yeah, I'm not normally not a huge fan of Kyrie, but I like the double fingers. What can I say? I'm a fan of it.
Yo, I am too. Like, if you're gonna say, "Hey, F you, you're a pussy, I hate you, Kyrie," you better get ready for him to chirp back. Like, you suck, Kyrie, suck my dick. Like, I'm here for it. Like, Kyrie firing back, I love it. I'm here for it.
I think the NBA needs a villain again, and you got Trae Young doing his little bowing thing, and like everybody hates him. But then you got Kyrie, and like I think back to like Kyrie back when he was in Cleveland, and he was like this young gun, and he was Uncle Drew, and he was like the fan favorite. And now everybody hates this guy, and he's like fully embracing it, and it's cool because like we haven't had a villain in a while in the NBA, and like he's just said, you know what, I'm about to embrace this, and just like I don't give a damn about the $50,000 fines. Like, keep them coming because I'm going to keep doing me. And I think it's sick.
Dude, exactly. And like you said, like, people hate LeBron. Me, I hate LeBron. But he never leaned into the villain role. He never, like, I'm truly taking over. I'm firing back. He's like, hey, get that person out. They said a bad word to me. Kyrie's like, hey, bring it on. I am the Joker. I'm here to cause all the havoc. So, Alex, you hit that nail right on the head, man. Matt, NBA, we didn't get your picks last week. Real quick, rounding up the guy from Britain who knows nothing about NBA here. What do you got for us?
Right, this will be quick fire stuff. Suns, Jazz, Warriors, Wolves, Heat because of Alex, 76ers, Bucks, and Celtics.
Love it. Look, that's money picks, man.
There we go. That's all you need to know about the NBA playoffs in round one. Right there.
I love it. Matt, I don't have any graphics for footy time. I do apologize, but real quick, you want to fire off. There's been some great footy action for us in the Premier League and across the world, really.
First of all, Matt, respect on the pub call last week.
Brentford!
Brentford were like, what? is a extra time goal
Yes.
to put us right in the pub parlay to hit, just to watch it crash and burn with the Canes.
Oh yeah, my friend was actually at that game, and he was telling me he was behind the goal, and as he was watching the ball get crossed over in the last minute, the defender lined up, jumped in the air, and he headed it so cleanly. And like, as soon as he made contact with that ball, you're thinking, there's only one place where this is going, and it's in the back of the net. And yeah, absolute raptures. My friend went absolutely crazy. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Completely forgot that was in the pub parlay.
Yeah, I was sitting
even more stoked that it's just realized it's won us money. Unreal.
Yeah, I was sitting at Curiosity Coffee. Alex, shout out, great coffee place.
Great spot.
Sitting there on a Saturday, and I'm watching the game unfold, and I'm like, nothing ruins a Saturday like watching the parlay just fold off Maddie's football picks, and I'm watching extra time, just like disgruntled, like, you know, screw soccer, like this is so dumb. And then it was, you know, Bradford, and it was just like, I'm going nuts in this coffee shop. And people are like, what's going? But yeah, Matt, respect on the call. I won't judge you again. Great pick. You can pick Brentford whenever you want.
He's flipping scripts.
I picked Brentford because I know Tim's Watford aren't very good at the moment. And it looks like they will be going back down relegated to the Championship. But sidetrack from that, talk about the FA Cup. Manchester City 2, Liverpool 3 in the first semi-final. Liverpool went up 3-0 at half-time. They absolutely dominated them. And Man City and Liverpool have played each other three times in the last 2 weeks. Is pretty crazy. And these two, Man City and Liverpool, are like so close together in the Premier League. There's 1 point between them. And in the other semi-final, you got Chelsea-Palace. Chelsea beat Palace 2-0. Chelsea were in control for the whole game. No real surprise they're through. So you got Chelsea and Liverpool in the final of the FA Cup. And then looking forward to the Premier League, there is only 6 games left. Only 6 games left. And at the moment, Liverpool are 2 points clear, over Manchester City, who've got a game in hand. So in the upcoming weeks, keep out on the Premier League, because it's going to be Liverpool or Manchester City to win the league. And whoever drops points, whoever, you know, gets a draw or who doesn't win, will literally lose the league. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy these last few weeks.
Hey, I love it. I'm here for it. Well, you know, I've been getting more into footy, especially without football. I've needed something. And as much as I love baseball and Savannah Bananas, which Alex, I know you had worked for the past 2 years, we had talked about for you, which is electric. We should have asked you more questions about them, but footy's, man, I've been love watching it. It's been awesome. Watched it earlier today. All right. Pub parlay time. Let's make some money. One day I'll get the audio right. There it is. Alex, basically give us any sports bet you want for this weekend, and we're going to make it work for us here. And we're going to add a pub parlay. Hopefully we'll make some money. If not, it is what it is. We're used to losing. So no pressure.
I'm used to losing too, so I'll join you in that club. I'm gonna take the Heat in 5. I don't know what the spread is. I don't know what the odds are in Vegas, but I know a lot of people are calling for a sweep. I would bet my money, and I would bet the house on them winning.
Heat in 5. All right, I like it. We'll let it roll. I love it.
Other than that, God, I don't know. Are they putting money on the Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes?
They will. They haven't dropped the odds yet, but yeah, those will be coming real soon. Who do you think's going to win that one?
I feel like we gotta go with the OGs. Like Brady and Rodgers are those dudes. We've seen them golf too before. Like I remember seeing that. I guess was last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was. But like they are those dudes, and they're gonna come and they're gonna put on a show, and the young guns are not gonna be ready for it. So I'm taking them every time.
Dude, you're absolutely right. I mean, Mahomes is making TikToks with his brother and wife. You know, Allen is getting hate from Tim, and he's got to deal with that hate. And so Rodgers and Brady, their time's free. They can play all the golf they want. I'm with you. I think I'm hammering down the OGs too. Tim, Matt, Evan, what's our parlay pick for this week?
So with the absence of Slate, Wolverhampton Wanderers are playing Burnley away, and Burnley have just sacked their manager. So I'd be tempted to put Wolverhampton Wanderers
What game?
for Slate's pick. But I'm also going to go different sport I haven't mentioned tonight. I'm tempted to go Charles Leclerc to win the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. That's a Grand Prix in
It's
Italy.
on a little F1 here.
How do you spell that guy's name?
F1. Charles Leclerc. It's Charles Leclerc, but like it's pronounced.
Hey, you'll
Charles
see
Leclerc.
it when you pull up. You'll see it, Fitz.
Charles the Clerk. Got him.
Charles Leclerc.
All right, I got a doozy here. We're going the Pittsburgh Maulers over the Philadelphia Stars on Saturday, the USFL.
I love the pick. I'm here for it, but
Do it.
my bookie does not care about the USFL. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Raphael, what are you doing? All right. Gosh, fine. I'll go with Boston stealing one at Brooklyn on Saturday night.
Ooh,
Oh man.
they'll be the dog there, which is good.
It's a terrible playoff atmosphere, so I would not put it past him doing that.
No, like you would think they'd be rocking, but I guess there's better shit to do in Brooklyn. I don't know.
There must, yeah. No.
I'm gonna go. This is good. I'm gonna go Maple Leafs over the Panthers on Saturday. I know the Panthers are hot right now. They're probably the best team. It's either them or Avalanche or the Flame at this point. But Maple Leafs are a playoff team. They're playing. They've been pretty hot. They've folded a few times, but I think they come in just under the radar. They're playing Tampa Bay on Thursday, already in Florida. I feel like they'll be adjusted. That's my pick. I think it's going to be a moneymaker.
Stand by it.
But yeah, but I think we ride the Maple Leafs.
No, I think it's a solid pick. They've been heating up on offense here. Defense has been pretty good. Yes, they're going into hot Panthers, but like you said, they're adjusting that Florida time zone difference, and so life's going to be good for them. Matt, I'm going to go footy here. I'm going Bundesliga. I'm going RP Leipzig. Give me them to get a big win Saturday. I think I've been betting on them here and there, and they've been producing for me, so I can't complain.
Against Union Berlin. Okay.
Yep. Haven't heard of them. Don't care about them. How you doing? Keep it moving.
They're a
RP's
good
getting the job done.
They're a good side, but I will back you.
I love it. All right, I got Matt's support. We're rolling. Hey, this is going to hit. We're going to make some big money. Alex, if we make money, we'll cash app you.
That sounds good to me. I need it. That's for sure.
Hey, I understand that, brother. Well, hey, we got one random question. Then we're out of here. We're done, and we can't thank you enough for hopping on.
Yeah.
And Matt, it was Easter weekend. You had a great random question for us, so I'll let you take it away.
Yes, so as you mentioned, Easter just passed. My question is, what is your favorite Easter egg?
Favorite what?
Easter egg.
Easter egg.
And he means like the candy flavored Easter eggs, like Snickers or right? Is that how you meant it?
Yeah, lost in translation. Yeah.
Yeah. Easter egg. Like mine is the caramel flavored. You break it open, it's got the caramel oozing out of it. Can't go wrong.
Call me old fashioned. I like the Reese's. The
Ooh,
Reese's
ooh,
egg with the peanut butter in the center. I mean,
I didn't even
it's
think
an
about
oldie
that.
but a goodie. Yeah.
I think once you said it, I was certain on it. That Snickers egg hits.
Ooh.
I mean, it's huge. It's just like you take it out of the box, you're like, damn, this is a foot, and I get to cut this thing open and just throw it in my mouth. That to me is Easter Sunday. It's like, let's bring out the Snickers egg and let's do it. You know?
I love it.
I don't know besides the Reese's egg. I think I'm with Tim. I think I'm a Reese's egg guy.
I'm all about Cadbury's mini eggs. So you gotta get a big egg, and then within the egg, get all these little mini eggs. It's pretty crazy.
It's like a nesting doll, but it's a nesting egg.
Yeah.
And we just crack
It's
it
like
open.
It's like one of those Russian dolls where you just take one off there's a smaller one and there's a smaller one. But yeah.
I'm here for it. The diabetes is here for it, and I'm here for it.
Do it.
Hey, Alex, we can't thank you enough for hopping on, man. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to be watching, and hopefully, we know you're going to keep making some dope-ass content. And anytime you want to come back on, dude, talk sports with us, you're more than welcome to.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me. It's been great. It's been great talking South Carolina and talking my life with y'all and talking sports. It's been great. Thank you all for having me, and go Gamecocks, right?
That's right. Let's go, Cox. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it. All right. We'll catch you guys next week for Tuesday. Our 100th episode. Going to be a fan favorite. Already calling it.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time. See ya.
In a bit, go well.
Yo, their point guard, I don't know what he runs in a 40, but that man is quick.
Yo, I fuck with the Spiders, man. And just like
Yeah.
Richmond in general is a good place to hang out. I'm going to pick them just off the
That
strength.
gave me really great pointers on how to get pissed up before a soccer game. So I'm really excited.
Wait, what are the pointers?
Addict, man. That was a journey.
Fitzmagic in September is like one of the hottest athletes in the world.
It was like FU up Fridays, and I guess he got me. I went with baseball, but it has different rules that go along with it that kind of go behind our underlying theme of getting fans involved, keeping fans.
If I catch it
interested.
in my beer, does that still count?
10 seconds.